Welcome to HP Tuner's Ford Coyote Training Part 2. In this training tutorial, we're going to go over our VCM Editor software. So we're going to be doing an overview of the software, getting comfortable with the software and understanding where we can find various features and functions to move into our training course and all the future tutorials. Without further wait, let's jump in so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at doing an overview of our VCM Editor software. Our VCM Editor software is where we do the reading and writing process with our Ford PCMs. This is essentially where we do the actual tuning. Our VCM Scanner software, as we downloaded that in the last tutorial, that's where we do our data logging, where we do our data analysis. We're going to cover that in a separate tutorial. So this tutorial is just going to be focusing on doing just an overview of the software, getting familiar with it, getting comfortable with it. So as we move through the next few videos in our training course and throughout the entire training course, we're going to understand where we can find things and just understand how the software is going to work and how it plays a role in calibrating and tuning your Ford PCM. So the very first thing that we want to do here, now that we have the software open, is go into our HP Tuners Ford course packet and open up one of the sample files that we have available to us. If we go up here to File and we go to File Open, we're going to find if we jump to the desktop, and this is where I have my particular course packet saved, we can find here HP Tuners Gen 1 Coyote. If we double click on here, we go down here to Mustang example files. This is going to be a whole bunch of separated example files that we can open up and take a look at. Doesn't matter what file we have open right now. We just want something open so we can start to navigate the software, as we're finding a lot of things are grayed out. They're not able to be clicked on because we don't have a file open. So let's go in here. I'm going to go and just grab, let's say, a 2013 example. We can see 2013 Mustang Auto. That's fine. Again, it doesn't really matter which file you're looking at. I'm just going to select this option and click Open. This is going to open up the calibration file so we can start to take a look at it. The calibration file represents essentially the tune file that's been flashed onto the ECU, or what you want to flash onto the ECU. Now, within the VCM Editor software, we're able to go up here and do a read and write function to be able to either flash the file, or if we want to do a read to the ECU, we can read what file is uploaded into the ECU. We're going to take a look at how to do that separately in another training tutorial. Again, we're just focused on the overview of this, so we're not going to get into all of the fine details of flashing and reading files. What we are going to do is jump up at the very top, and we can find we have these drop-down menus. We have File, Edit, Compare, Flash, Tools, Window, and Help. Let's go through these and take a look. Now, I do want to point out, as we're looking through our drop-down menus right here, many of the features and functions that you're going to access more so than others are going to be found in our icon list. So for example, here we have a file open, we have a file save, and we have a close. So instead of going in here to our drop-down, we'll find these same functionalities in our drop-down here. We can find them right here in our icon list. Now, not everything is going to be found in our icon list, but we will find the majority of what we work with, probably 90% of the time, is what's populated in our icon list right here. So I just wanted to point that out. We will be also talking about our icons here in just a few minutes. If we go back to File, we have our file open and close. This is pretty self-explanatory. We just hit a file open to open up a calibration file, this particular file that we're dealing with right here. So we know then understand what that represents. The close would be if we want to close the file out and open up a different file, we would go to File Close. We also have a save and a save as. Now I'm going to demonstrate the difference between a save and a save as in our read and write tutorial that's going to be coming up. But essentially, save is going to allow you to simply save on top of this file name. Save as allows you to save to a different file name if you want to go and create a new file and not constantly save over top of a single file that just going to be proper file management. I'll get to that in some later tutorials. We also have an export feature. If you're using an eMotion or Power Torque, this exports the file into the file type for either of these options. I don't use either of these programmers, so I'm not going to even worry about that, but that converts the file type. Instead of being a particular file type, a .hpt, it converts it to the file type associated with this programming device or flash device. We also have a recent file option. Recent files show you all the files that you had open. If you don't want to go into File Open and dig through the directory of where you have your file saved, you can simply go and take a look at your very last files you had open. I have quite a few files here. We can see many Mustang files or Subaru files or GM files. I work with my HP Tuner software very frequently, so I'm constantly opening up all kinds of different files. Again, this shows me the last files that I had open, probably in the last week or so. And we also have exit. Exit allows you to close out of the software and just close your VCM Editor software. We can also, instead of going to File Exit, you can simply click the X option up here at the very top of the screen. That closes the screen out, closes your software out. Same idea as right here. All right, let's jump in here to edit. And in edit, we go to calibration details. This allows us to peek in and take a look at some things associated with the calibration file that we have open here. So for example, it shows us the hardware, which is a Copperhead Ford ECM, that's the actual computer type we're dealing with, the VIN number that this particular file was associated with, and then the operating system, or what's known as a strategy. If you're familiar with tuning and using SCT devices, this would be known as the strategy. This combination of letters and numbers, this is associated with a particular model year file, essentially identifying what the file is going to be. Different strategies are better than others. We can swap strategies now with HP tuners. If we use a write entire option, I'll be covering that in another tutorial, but this tells you some details about this file. Looking at the strategy is very useful. Sometimes it's important to understand and look for the operating system or the strategy to be able to know.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.